Boy, Kidd Icarus, and it's just after 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm up to bring you guys a Stormblood, Final Fantasy 14 Online Stormblood video. This is the beginning of early access, and on the screen you will see our star for the series. Our star is Cecilia Hawk. She's already dressed and ready for the expansion. And wow, that's a long time. So literally like 5 o'clock and we have over 2,000 people trying to log in at the same time. That just goes to show how big of a game this is now. Uh, but while we're waiting to get into the game, just give me 1 second. I have to turn down some of the audio settings. Oh, maybe not. So I know this is a bit different from what I would normally bring you guys. It's not Destiny related content or Mass Effect related content. But in all truth and honesty, this is content that I myself am very excited for. This is something I've been waiting for quite some time, something that I've wanted to do for quite some time. And I've always found a way to avoid doing it or to put it off for a later date. When A Realm Reborn was first released for the PS4, I wanted to start streaming at that point. However, I convinced myself that I didn't have the proper setup and I did not want to stream unless I had the complete streaming setup in place. That includes a capture card, a, a webcam, a proper microphone, so on and so forth. So I didn't want to start streaming unless I had all of that, and to this day I still don't have any of it, which just goes to show that I was just putting it off for no reason. And when that no longer worked to convince myself, I started convincing myself that I had already begun the game during the beta phase for Realm Reborn. And since I was continuing that particular character's playthrough, I didn't want to start. I didn't want to start a streaming series and not have you guys in on the full experience. Then, there was the release of Heaven's Sword, and once again I brought up the issue of not having all of the proper equipment, but that was more of a minor issue. Instead, I focused on the fact that I had already not only begun this character's playthrough, but I was so far into this character's playthrough that it didn't make any real sense to start streaming it. Keeping in mind that this particular character, Cecilia, was actually my out at the beginning. I started off with a male character named uh, Orion Vermilion, if I remember correctly. And my intention was to create a pair of male characters, one named Orion Vermilion and the other named Rain Silvers, who looked extremely similar, just different color, for the most part, different color here. They're in a different hairstyle, but other than that, it was extremely similar. Anyway, my original character was Orion Vermilion. I played through as him on the Leviathan server, and I played through as a monk. And this is my first real MMO, and I never really got into World of Warcraft or any other MMO before, not even Final Fantasy 11. So there were a lot of things that I was unfamiliar with, things such as uh, the market, the actual player market in this game that allows you to buy and sell different armor, different equipment, so on and so forth. I was unfamiliar with different ways to acquire guild. So unfortunately, Orion was quite broke. Oh yeah, and that led to some very unfortunate circumstances down the road. But I had fun playing through the game as Orion, and I ended up creating Cecilia here because I'm not sure if anyone else who plays this game has experienced it before, but there are times where you'll be kicked out, you'll get disconnected. I'm sure there are other people who have experienced it. I've known other people who have experienced it as well. There are times where you'll be playing content and you'll just get disconnected from it. And once you're disconnected from the game, it doesn't allow you. Sometimes it does not allow you to log right back into it because it still has you registered as logged in. On one such occasion, it refused to let me log in for like 5 minutes past, 10 minutes past, and refused to let me log in. So I tried creating a new character and seeing if I could log in that way. And that particular character was Cecilia. She was created on Bryn. I would mention the service name, but I know I messed that up. Let's call it Bryn for short. She was created on Bryn. Same data center, just a different world. And I started her playthrough at that point, just as a alternative character, side character. However, after I completed the story as Orion and I want to progress even further as that character, because I was in a free company that I actually liked. Uh, I cannot recall for the life of me what's the name of the free company. Was it Elixir or something like that? Not sure, but it was a free company that I actually enjoyed. I enjoyed the company of a lot of the members of the free company. So I actually wanted to continue playing on that particular character. However, as I said, Orion was broke. And I did not understand the whole crafting mechanic. To this day, I still don't understand the whole crafting mechanic. I'm better at it, but I'm not all that much better. If I need something and I'm at a crafting level where I can get it done, I can possibly get it done after some few attempts if it's high quality. If it's not high quality, then I can probably get it done as long as I'm at the required level. Otherwise, I'll have a lot of failed attempts, and you guys will most likely, or more than likely, see that as we go through Final Fantasy 14 from this point forward. But with Orion, I was unfamiliar with that particular mechanic. I was unfamiliar with the whole gathering mechanic. I did not want to invest the time into learning how to do those things. I wanted to level up my combat-based classes, particularly Bard. I really wanted to play as a Bard. I started off as a monk, and at this point, I had already started up, I think, just about all of the combat classes apart from the healing, apart from Conjurer. and Arcanist. Well, actually, I had started those classes as well, but I hadn't invested any time into it, to leveling them. I just did it to start it off, to start their quest lines off. And I really wanted to play as a bard, and as I was progressing through the as I was progressing through the levels, around level 35 or so, I needed to upgrade my equipment, which is one of the mistakes that I really was making on that character. I want to keep my equipment upgraded as much as possible. So if I reached a new level and a new bow was available, I wanted to have that new bow. And due to that, even though I couldn't make the bow, although I could make the bow, I was not gathering the materials to make the bow. Instead, I would simply go to the market board and purchase the materials, which drained what ill finances Orion originally had. And it came to a point where he was flat broke. He could not do anything in terms of progression unless I continued grinding the levels and whatnot. And it became more of a chore to continue playing as Orion rather than just take a break. So that's what I did. I took a break. I started up Cecilia, who began as an Arcanist. I started off with her playthrough once again. This was months after I had originally created her. But I started off with her playthrough again, and I got to the point where I could switch classes to Bard. And one of the things I wanted to do at that point was create a free company. I had been a member of a free company before, but I wanted to create my own free company. So I did that. It was called Sleeping Forest after the clan and Irgir. I don't know if you guys know that anime, but there was this clan called Irgir. Sorry, this is an anime called Irgir with the clan called Sleeping Forest, who was supposed to be the one of the greatest clans, if not the greatest clans. It's a legendary clan that most people didn't even know existed or knew who the members were. So I named my free company after that, and I got a few people to join. But with my absences from the game from time to time, and you guys will notice that as well, there'll be times when I just need to take a break from Final Fantasy, or I'm doing content for another game and it's eating away time that I would normally invest into Final Fantasy. Because of that, and well, time together, everybody had their own real life experience, things to deal with and whatnot. The clan slowly but surely split apart, and we went our separate ways. At which point, I joined another clan on the same server called Fantasia, and that, apart from my own clan, obviously, that is the clan I'm still kind of a part of. That was one of the best free company experiences there are. Now, I said that I created Cecilia on Bryn, and now, as you can see, I'm on Leviathan. That's because myself, along with most of the prominent clan members from Fantasia, decided to make the move to the Leviathan server. And we made that move because Bryn was dying. The player base on Bryn was dying down. It wasn't as raid heavy as we wanted it to be, and I don't raid that much, but I still would like it to be heavier than what it was. And we wanted more of a active server, wanted to get onto more of an active server. So we've all moved to Leviathan and created alts on Brent. I'll show you guys my alt at a later date. I've started his story, but I've only done enough to make it to the point where I could join the clan. I started off in Ul'dah. I believe I started off as a paladin. And if it's not a paladin, then I started off as a warrior. For some reason, it took forever to join the clan. I can't recall. But that's why I started off with that character, and I just did enough to join the clan. Once I joined the clan, once again, I switched back to Cecilia. That's my alternative character. We'll get to play as him a few times in the future. Can't really say how much. But now we're not in Fantasia anymore. We're now in another free company, whose name truly eludes me at this point. But most of the members are a part of it, and that's where I've been for the last few months. Interestingly enough, I had not played Final Fantasy for about 6 months or so. I played that before Tuesday. Today is Thursday, so before Tuesday, the last time I had played Final Fantasy 14 was back in January. That's a long, towards the end, back at the end of January. That's a long time. I hadn't played since then, but I made sure I got everything set up on Tuesday so that I could be prepared for the release of Stormblood. I did a crap ton of grinding, of raid grinding, Dome Skate for a full armor set for the monk. I wanted to get my animal weapon to max, but that was not going to be possible in that short amount of time, considering the step I was on. I'm on step 5 for anyone who's interested. That's the part where you have to gather a bunch of treated crystal sands you have to make a bunch of treated crystal sands by gathering regular crystal sand and umbrite. Umbrite, the special material in this game that you can only get by spending tombstones. Before it was tombstones of lore, now it should be tombstones of poetics, which should make it that much easier, but that much more useless, ironically. But yeah, so I was unable to get that, unfortunately. But my armor set is complete 260. My weapon is 230. My accessories now range between 230 and 270. I have one 270 piece of accessory. I can't remember which piece it is, but I have one 270 accessory. I may have one or two 245s, and everything else is 230s. But you guys will see all that in a few minutes once we get onto the server. I did all of that. I did all the grinding. I literally finished at like 5 a.m. yesterday morning, just before I finished about 40 minutes before maintenance started with the last piece of equipment. And it had to be the chest piece, unfortunately. It took forever to drop. It's like whenever you're farming for a particular class, the gear for that class never seems to drop. As in never. I probably ran Doom Skate about 30 times between 5 p.m. and 5 a.m. That 12-hour window. About 20 to 30 times I ran that raid. And 95% of the time, or actually about 98% of the time, I was the only monk in my party, in my alliance. Yet, my gear did not drop. The boots for the monk dropped twice. I got it once. The pants dropped once. No, the pants dropped twice. I got it once. The chest piece dropped twice. I got it once. The belt dropped once. The headpiece dropped once. And what's interesting is that the boots and the pants, the pants, and the shirt all dropped at the well, I got my boots the first time around, but the second time the boots dropped, both times the pants dropped, and the second time the shirt dropped were all on the same run, the last run I did. The first time the shirt dropped, there was another monk in the party, and he managed to beat out my roll, unfortunately. But congratulations to him for getting the piece and getting off early. Uh, so yeah, we're just waiting for us to get into the server. And looking at Cecilia, there's one thing I wish could be done in this game, and that's adding more tattoos. I know you can add tattoos to your face, but there should have been an option to add body tattoos. Like a Cecilia with a few body tattoos, that would have looked quite cool, you know what I mean? But give me one moment, guys. I want to adjust the stream a bit. Alright, thanks for that brief moment. I'm streaming off the PlayStation 4. As you guys should know by now, I am on the PlayStation 4. I'm streaming from that service. Sorry, from that console. And when we stream from the PlayStation 4, it adjusts your screen size. And it's telling me at the bottom of the screen that PlayStation 4 users can adjust the game's display area to match the TV screen under display area settings. I'm not sure where to find the display area settings, so I'll just rock with this for the time being. Or actually, give me a second. Let's see if I can find it. Uh, Sharing broadcast sound and screen. Oh, there we go. I should no. Let's cancel that. I'm canceling that because if I'm not mistaken, this screen here is always small. If it's still small once we get into the actual the actual world, onto the Leviathan server and whatnot, then I'll adjust the screen size to fit more my liking. I know I removed the comment bar. I'll be reading and I may read and answer comments in a different manner, but for this particular stream, I don't plan to do much talking. Ironically said, from the guy who spent the last, I don't know, about 10 or so minutes talking. I want to give you guys a quick rundown of Cecilia's activities up to this point, and my history with the game up to this point. But I don't plan to do much talking during this particular playthrough. I'm not going to talk through the cinematics obviously. I'll probably mute my mic during the cinematics. But for the text boxes where there is no voice acting being done, I think I will speak for those. That's why I included the mic. So now let's go to YouTube on broadcasting. Let's see if I can read my comments from a different point. So now let's go to YouTube on broadcast. Okay. Let's see if I can find the chat options. And we're in the world. That's great. I heard something. I'm not sure what that was. Probably a pause. Yep. I guess it was just pausing the gameplay at that point. I'll figure out the comments a bit later. But first of all, as you can see, this is where I left Cecilia. She's in her bathing suit, ready to Stormblood as I said earlier. And you can see the return icon. I guess I was not the only person here. Nope. We have more people joining. But the first thing we have is Beyond the Wall. So Cecilia can get up. And wow. That is small. At least we have a full screen, but damn, that's small. Let's make sure it's saved. Now going to my 250. As I was saying earlier, this is all of my gear. What's this at? I believe this is at 260 or 230. Not sure. This is at 270, 245, 230. Not sure. 230. This might be at 260. Maybe. First, let's get here. Lightning gauge and charcoal gauge unlocked. Lightning gauge. The lightning gauge indicates a monk's current amount of grease lightning, as well as the time remaining before the effect fades. Grease lightning is grease lightning is accumulated by executing certain weapon skills and improves attack speed and damage dealt. As a monk or pugilist increases in level, the amount of grease lightning that can be stored at one time will increase to a maximum of 3 units. The chakra gauge. The chakra gauge indicates the number of chakra a monk currently has opened. Chakra are open using the action meditate, and opening 5 allows for the execution of the forbidden chakra and purification, required at level 58. Oh wow. Yep, so this is a 260, everything else is a 230. So not really a bad build at the moment. This is how far I've made it. My Disciples of the Land, as you can see, needs to be leveled. We're going to be doing a whole lot of that during this series. All of my healing-based classes are low. This is the strongest one. This is the strongest one at 51, and the only reason that's at 51 is because my Summoner is also at 51. But we're starting off as a monk. My goal is to do monk, then I'm going to move to samurai, then I'm going to move to warrior, at which point I'll probably move back to ninja or something else, but I'll move according to how I feel at that point in time. A quick thing to note is that I'm missing several actions. So let's go to actions and traits. True Strike, yep, internal release, Fist of Earth, wow. They really got rid of a lot of our traits, didn't they? Okay. Instead, let's go to the hut and let's see if we can move some stuff around. I want to move Gil to about here. I want to move that to about here. Okay, I need to get to my inventory grid. Yep, that seems about good. I don't help to stay there. My parameter bar. I like to move that here, which means I can move this a bit more across. The cross had more. Well, I'm doing all of this so that I can move my chakra gauge. to about right here. And obviously I want to move my lightning gauge afterwards. If I can get it, if I can actually click on it. Right there, that should be good. The mini map, no, I don't mind that. Main duty list server info. Let's move server info a bit. I went to about. That's a bit too far. Okay. What else is there? I'll leave my mini map. Status effects. Okay. The enemy list. I have no problem with that. What else am I looking for? I would like to be able to move the chat log, but I don't see where to move that, unfortunately. Scenario guide? No. I guess so. I'm looking for an Access Alliance. Nope. A party list. Okay. Parameter, nope. Experience. Yep, I'm on it. I am completely unable to move the chat log, unfortunately. But I'll save this. And that's how we're gonna rock from now on. I also need to go back into here, because as you guys can see, I have a lot of actions that I cannot use. Cannot use my current class, really. Okay, so let's go back to actions. And let's see, what should I start up with? I want to move this to here, now that I can do that. As far as these over here go, I want to keep that the same. You just want to move internal release to a bit closer. Let's see. Do I have Demolish? Yep, I do. I don't have Steel Peak. Steel Peak there. Don't have Mantra. which is something I really don't use, so I'm not caring. I'll put perfect balance to the top. I have Rock Breaker. What I can use is Shield and Tackle. Fist of Fire, I don't really have to put it back on. One Elm Punch. Not sure I want to use that in that space I now have freed up. But I do want to put Elixir Field down. I should put it in the wrong spot. Let's put it here. Form Shift. No. I also want to put Dragon Kick down. And Tornado Kick. I'll consider that. The Forbidden Chakra is something to get after. And Earth Tackle. Wind Tackle. Oh wow. So there is a reason to use Fist of Earth and Fist of Wind now. But I'm not very worried with that. Or that. What is it I'm looking for? I already have Howling Fist. Okay, so I could put Tornado Kick somewhere. And that's what we're going to currently use. So we have to go to Mordono. Let's get this show on the road. Sorry for the extremely late start, guys. But now it's time to really get into the heart of the new expansion. Well, really start the new expansion. What I just did is something I'll have to do with just about every class. If not every class, apart from Samurai and Red Mage. The reason behind that being, as you can see, a lot of the actions that we had are gone. Turn all this down a bit. Unfortunately, as you guys can see, that's normally the case. And first and foremost, I found someone from my clan, as you can see. I may be forced to turn the volume down a bit more in the future, I'm not sure. We're gonna rock with this and see how it goes. But let's continue with the story, guys.
question is, how will the Empire respond to the disappearance of Omega and the Primal? Oh, I didn't see you there. Forgive me. Word from Baelsar's wall is proving long in the coming, and my mind cannot help but stray to grim places.
Alphino, a message from the Alliance.
It's about time. Pray summon the others at once.
Yes, sir.
I love Tataru.
General Uldin reports that his forces have secured the breach in Baelsar's wall.
And what of the Primal and Omega?
There is still no sign of either at this time. He writes that they will begin a more thorough investigation shortly. And, as expected, he wishes to petition the aid of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
As expected.
The Alliance's decision to capture a part of Baelsar's wall is open to interpretation.
The wall serves to demarcate Imperial territory, Alamigo included, from the rest of Eorzea. To an observer, the Alliance's actions could be seen as a prelude to invasion.
Indeed. And the Alliance leaders have no wish to be branded invaders.
You're saying they won't fight for Alamigo? Even after everything that's happened?
Not without the consent of her people, no. Make no mistake, Lys. The Alliance is in complete agreement that the Empire must be purged from Eorzea. However, they will not set foot in Gyr Abania until they have formally secured the consent and cooperation of the Alamigan opposition.
They would have us act as intermediaries.
Precisely. The Scions are uniquely qualified to serve in this capacity. That is to say, Lys's, given her personal connection to the Resistance. Who better than you to broker an agreement between the Alliance and the people of Alamigo? Assuming you are willing, of course.
Of course I am! You know I'd like nothing more!
As for who should accompany you on said diplomatic mission, I had a mind to volunteer myself.
Well, that covers the talking part. But you just know there'll be trouble along the way. Are you available?
Why you gotta ask me that? You know I am. See?
Thanks. It means a lot knowing you'll be there. I too shall accompany you. Such endeavors are seldom hampered by a surfeit of healers.
Good point. Allow me to offer my services as well. I have spent quite enough time here of late, so I'll be coming. But we will need someone to keep an eye on things.
Everyone wants to go.
I trust you have no objections?
None, my lady. Gladly shall I continue to serve as caretaker of the Waking Sands, and there keep watch for signs of primal and Ascian activity both.
As capable as my learned friend undoubtedly is, there are some troubles that may prove too much for a single scion, on account of which I mean to stay.
Oh, Tankard, why?
It is settled then. Let us each see to our preparations.
But I'm prepared. My body is ready. First, let's signal everyone on my free company.
Ready, my friend?
As if you had to ask.
Well then. Tataru, I leave the rising stones in your capable hands.
Don't worry, Alphino. I'll see that the place is